Ever since I have started working, I have never been one to quit a job right there on the spot in the middle of my shift. But today, that had to change. I started my job at Ulta Beauty back in September, and I was so excited because I was going to be surrounded by beauty and makeup, and those were things that excited me. Being the very few of the African American employees that were there, I would start to notice things that would happen with Black customers or not with Caucasian customers, and that was starting to rub me off wrong. And today, I finally reached my breaking point. Today, this young lady walks in and goes towards the fragrance directly. And it's not even that long that she's there. And I hear over the mic for the other manager to go and see if she's okay and to watch. They tell the manager to watch because she's looking for something. Isn't that the point? Everyone's looking for something when they go into a store. They continue to watch her, and she comes up to me and asks me a question, but unfortunately, I'm with a customer at the time, so then she had to go and ask somebody else. And I hear on the mic, oh, she just went and asked Belisa a question. Like, why are we announcing every single move that this woman is making? They then ask for one of the workers to go and look out the window to see if there's any cars parked backwards in a suspicious way that could possibly be her getaway car. And they go to the window to really survey the parking lot. Like, what? As they're surveying the parking lot, they see one car that's parked backwards, and it's a car of an employee in the store right now. And as she continues to walk around the store, she picks up a fragrance that she likes, a Gucci. My sis got taste. She picks it up, and I hear on the mic, she's got a fragrance in her hand. She's got a fragrance in her hand. I need everyone to be watching. She walks away from the fragrance area, and then she walks towards the front of the door to get a basket because she's shopping. And they start freaking out, acting like she's about to leave. I see all eyes just beaming, looking to see what this woman is doing. She then starts walking around the store, shopping as one does, and that's when I see everyone dispersing around the store. I hear in the mic, I need everyone in a corner, I need someone back in mass, da 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 da. They go on to say, I need eyes over there. I can't see her in the camera. Someone get over there quick. Another girl, she begins to help a customer, and I hear her on the mic saying, I can't watch her right now. I need someone else to make sure they have eyes on her. Focus on the other customers. Those people need help too. Like, what? At this point, I start getting livid because there's absolutely no way that you guys are doing this much for one single person. One person. They then have the brilliant idea of grabbing items that have sensors on it to have them go off and bring them towards the front of the store to see if it would scare her off or make her leave the products that she was going to steal. What? She then finishes walking around the store. Everyone around the store is trying to figure out a fake conversation or something fake to talk about while they're working so they can still survey her. She comes to the front of the store. She purchases, keyword, purchases her items. Not steal, not run out the store, but purchases her items. And my sis got a loyalty account. So she gave her phone number and her name was said. Like, what? After all of that, instead of seeing that they were wrong, I'm so livid at this point. I'm on the phone with my mom and I'm going off. And instead of seeing that they're wrong, I hear in the intercom, oh, I see what type of car she was driving. It has dealer plates. She must have been test driving it. That can't be her car. Why does she have to be test driving it? And then I hear, why would she use a car from the dealership to be her getaway car? She already bought it. Mind you, sis had a Louis V bag. Okay, brand new whip, got no keys. It was right then and there I realized I'm not going to work in an establishment that does that. Because if I was an employee and I was walking in, is that how they would have reacted? Is that how they would have felt? I'm not doing that. And I hope no one else puts up with that type of stuff. And I'm so sorry to that girl that she had to go through that, and she probably didn't even know that she was. Not during Black History Month. Not during Black History Month. I am so sick. Ulta Beauty, please do better. Please. Diversity inclusion is not just for paper. Now, in short, yes, I most definitely said something to them before I left. Everyone there knew I was quitting and knew that what just happened was not okay. After she purchased her items, I was so upset. Like, I was shaking. Just shaking, because I couldn't believe that someone like me, that looked like me, was going through that. I started cursing. I started just like, I need a minute. So I went and I was taking a minute and I was like, just, bro, I'm about to quit. This can't be real. And it was in those moments that I heard the last two comments about she's test driving a car, and that was it for me. I walked out, took my headset up, wrapped it up, went and got my jacket and my bag and whatever else I had with me for that day. I went to, they like tried to come up to me and ask me like, hey, what's up? I was like, what's up? Like, did y'all not just, I was like, no. I said, I'm not coming back here. I don't need to be here. Just find me the manager, because I need to let her to know to her face why I'm leaving. The manager finally comes up to me and she's like, what's wrong? What's going on? I'm like, what? So then I let her know. I said, I just want to let you know that I'm quitting. There is no absolute possible way that me as a Black woman, I'm going to continue to work in an environment such as this. And I was like, literally a couple months before this, you had people that came in and complained about the type of treatment that we're getting, and that I was the only one that helped them. And yet there was still nothing learned from that. I said, every single time a Black person comes into this store, and she tried to stop me and be like, oh, it doesn't matter whether they're Black or white. I said, that's not true. Because every single time that I've seen something happen like this, it's a Black person. I never seen a Caucasian person get followed. Never, ever at all. So it was then I said what I had to say. I said, I'm not coming back here. I quit and walked out the door. And there were also questions asking about, did I tell her, or why didn't I tell her? Well, in that moment, I was surprised. And there was a reason why I didn't stop her from purchasing at first, because I wanted her to purchase it. I wanted for them to see that this person that you were following around and doing all this for purchased her item. If there's one thing that I do regret from this whole experience, is that I didn't say anything to her afterwards. But at that point, it was just like I blacked out. I was just infuriated. I was pissed. I do want you guys to know that the proper people have been contacted.
So I got booked for this artist's music video, and I was like a huge fan. I was super excited. Didn't really talk to him on set, but he had like really good energy. Fast forward, he ends up DMing me on Twitter, and we start talking, and he's like, oh, we exchanged numbers, whatever. I go hang out with him. Have the time of my life. I'm talking like, I was like, damn, like he is so cool. Like we were vibing, chilling, drinking. Like he didn't try me. He was very respectful. And honestly, a lot of the times I hung out with him, he had the same energy. So months go on, and we're hanging out more and more. I'm going to the studio. I'm staying at his crib. We're just chilling, just vibing. So I had this homegirl, and she did music videos too. And so I didn't tell her. Well, let me back up. So one of my friends, he's a director in Atlanta. He hits me up. He's like, I'm in LA. I'm shooting a video for like a big artist. Do you want to come? I'm like, sure, why not? Which is not unusual. So I go. Turns out the artist I was like messing with was featured. So we hadn't talked like a week before that, because I was like drunk and I got mad at him for like some like dumb shit, really. And it was just kind of weird. And we had like a weird energy with each other. So I hadn't talked to him. So my homegirl was actually booked for that video. And so I was like, girl, this is so awkward. She didn't know at this point, because I had only told my two best friends. So I'm like, this is so awkward. Like, I ain't seen him in forever, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, oh, I didn't know you used to mess with him. I'm like, nah, I was like, whatever, yeah. So I'm standing there, they're shooting. He goes up to her and he asks for her number or whatever. They're interacting. And I text her and I'm like, don't mention my name, because I didn't want him to think I was being messy, telling everybody that we messed around, because the industry is so small, So I'm like, don't mention my name. At that point, I guess he had her phone and was putting his number in, and he saw the text. So I'm like, oh my God, what she told me after the fact. So I'm like, this is like mad awkward, whatever. He doesn't really say anything to me after that, and we kind of just go about our business. So still hadn't really talked to him. A couple of days go by, and we're having like a game night, and I got dared to like call the last person on my phone, and I had FaceTimed him, and we got back cool again, and we were like talking, joking around, whatever. The day after that, I see them on Instagram, and like he had posted her, and I knew they had just met that day. So he posted her, and I'm like, okay, this is kind of weird. But that wasn't my man, you know what I mean? But I was like, I don't know, something about it wasn't sitting right with my spirit. So I hit her when I see that, and I'm like, y'all, I didn't know y'all were still kicking it. And she was like, oh, we're just friends, we're shooting like YouTube videos, it's not that serious. I'm like, okay. I can't really press the issue, it's not my man, but I did feel a little weird about it. She calls me twice after that in the span of like 2 weeks, and she's just like, hey, is it bothering you like that we're friends? And I'm like, no. It's a little weird, but it's not like I can't tell you what to do. She's like, I can stop talking to him. I'm like, I'm not going to tell you what to do. Little time goes by, I haven't really talked to either of them. I get my phone blown up in the middle of the night by the text, and then I got a lot of FaceTimes from him. So I call him back. I'm mad confused, but one of the texts is, why would you do that to me and homegirl? And I'm like, what are you talking about? I call him, he's cussing me out. He's calling me all types of names. He's like, you're done in LA. Like, you better leave, all this stuff. I'm like, what is going on? He was like, why would you tell me we messed around? I don't even know you like that. You ain't never been to my crib. Like, I'm like, what? Now, you know damn well I was there a lot. So I'm like, what? He hangs up, whatever. My phone starts spazzing, like going off. Like, people are like, is this so-and-so, like the rapper? Like, not my name. They're like, is it him? So I'm like, what the heck? Next thing you know, like I'm getting calls. I'm like, oh my God, he posted my number. I go look, I'm blocked on everything. I have my friend look, he posted my number and another number. So I call homegirl, and I'm like, what is going on? She's like, oh my God, I'm so overwhelmed. He literally just spazzed on me. I'm like, I don't even know y'all were still kicking it at this point. Apparently he genuinely did like her, and he wanted to be serious, and she told him that she couldn't be serious with him because I told her that we messed around, and I guess another friend of hers messed with him. So he then in turn posted my number and the other girl's number, and like kicked her out of the crib, was like super pissed. She was calling me like, we were on the phone, she's like, I don't know what to do. I'm like, girl, I don't know what to do. Again, for the sake of keeping this in one part, or the second part, it turns out that they were, messing around, of course. But what I really didn't like was that she kept it real, like, oh, we're just friends, we're just friends. And he thought that I had told her that we were messing around and like she couldn't be with him or whatever, that I had like sabotaged whatever they had going on. When in reality, I never even knew. I don't know. It was like so weird. Yeah, I don't know if he came to his senses or what, but he did say I'm sorry in the middle of that. I blocked him on everything. Twitter, Instagram, all that. He has hit me up from multiple accounts. Well, not multiple accounts. He had like another account that he hit me up on. Still blocked. So in conclusion, the reason why he threatened my life was because I told my friend that we messed around, and he got mad because he wanted to be with her. Super weird. Makes no sense.
Okay, so I had a friend who had found out that her man at the time had liked like a 3-year-old picture of me I had on Facebook. I was in a bikini beside a pool, right? And I was just trying to figure out, how do I approach it? Do I say something to her? Do I not? I was asking other friends, what should I do? What should I do? Now, before I could decide on how to handle it, it was too late. She found out about it, so she actually called me about it. We had a discussion. She and her man got through it. I don't really know what happened, but I think from that point on, she didn't trust me. Fast forward like 2-3 years later, she and I had a falling out. I found out that from the time that man liked that picture to the current date, she had been bad mouthing me to that man the whole time, because y'all still want to believe that men are dumb. She was trying to throw him off of my trail because she knew he had an interest in me. I also found out when I would describe dates to her, she would put herself in the plot and use my dating stories to make him jealous. Like at the time I was seeing this football player, and she would tell him, oh, don't nobody want you back. And she would describe the date that I had with the football player and act like she was there. Anyway, she did all of that. And as soon as it was publicly known that we weren't friends anymore, which she made it known, bing, I had a friend request from guess who?